Hey guys, it's Kevin Davis. I wanted to give a little bit of a heads up on this episode. We had a few technical issues, especially with Grant's audio, which may sound a little bit like it comes in and out, but I think that all the audio is there. You can get a sense of what he's saying, so I hope you'll forgive us with that, with these episodes, especially the long ones and with multiple people. That does get a little hairy sometimes on the tech. So enjoy the episode. Thanks for joining us. Detailer's Roadmap Cruise Control, where we navigate the roadways of life, business, and everything in between. Hey guys, it's Kevin Davis from the Cruise Control Podcast, brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. I am here on the first round, number 3 of our Troubleshooting Your Business series. We're here with Andrew Houston today, Houston's, and we're going to talk through some of his business stuff and probably beat him up a little bit. Hopefully not make him cry. We've kind of had that effect on some people. But we're going to have a good time. So, hey, man, welcome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us and being open to this. There's a lot of transparency and kind of courage involved in sharing some of this stuff, being vulnerable, which sounds really weird for like this business podcast, but like it's 100% required. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I greatly appreciate it. This has been something that I've been waiting for. So.
Good. Cool. So first things first, let me share my screen. All right. So these are, we can talk through some of these numbers, but I always like to do these highlights that you provided. And these numbers are probably a couple of months old, so we can adjust them however we want. A couple of years in business, team size 4 to 7, revenue is about 15 grand a month. Operating costs $5,600, labor's $3,100, and fixed costs $1,937. I love how you like gave me specific numbers, which is cool. Grant will be all over that for sure. That puts us at a margin of about 29% based on those numbers. You're doing PPC and on your own, plus the DR website, posting multiple times a day on social. Do you're able. Your regional area is about 50,000. Ceramic coating, exterior maintenance, washes, paint correction, and mobile detailing. So you kind of cover the gamut there. Strengths are outstanding service, quality interior detailing, well known in the community. Challenges are cash flow, which we all have that. It's just one of those things. Employee retention due to pay, and then inconsistent bookings. 25K a month revenue. First level goal, book your large jobs more consistently, add new services, and retain employees. And we're good to go. So that kind of lays that out. The guys already had reviewed that because they've got a copy of that little presentation, the PDF. So let's dive in. Who wants to start? Grant, Barry?
Andrew,
Go ahead, Barry.
how are you? How you doing, buddy? Good?
I'm doing good. How are you? Great.
Good, man. Good. So one thing I learned about business is we always see the paperwork and the numbers, but we never get to hear the real story behind it sometimes. So you're 2 years in.
Yeah.
3 employees I saw, right?
Yes,
3
sir.
employees. You're making $15K a month.
Yeah, right now. Yep.
Are you paying yourself?
Roughly.
No.
So I did. I am slightly, a little bit. It's kind of, here and there. We make sure that we keep the lights on and pay our mortgage and things like that. But yep, that's about it.
Okay.
So why don't you just to start out, give us your business story real quick. Kind of walk through, just if somebody said, hey, what do you do for a living? Explain your shop, just so we have a little bit of context if you want to. I think that's kind of what Barry's getting at.
Yeah, absolutely. So little backstory on me. I worked for a long time for a big corporation. And then kind of COVID happened, and I told my wife, I said, I think we can, this is a good market. I think we can detail cars for a living here and make a pretty good living. So I started on the side just detailing cars on the weekends and things like that. And I've been detailing cars since I was 12 years old, working in it on the side, helping people out here and there. And my wife said I was crazy. She's like, nah, you're crazy. There's no way we can do this. And then I started booking customers on the weekends when in my spare time when I wasn't working my full-time job. And before you know it, our schedule was just overloaded with people. We just couldn't keep up with it. And I told her, I said, look, I'm at the point now where corporate world isn't for me anymore. and we're getting busier in this business, and I think we can do this. So I quit my full-time job there, making pretty good money, and came out to detail cars for full time, and kind of from there we progressed. I was working it by myself. I bought my van, I got everything situated, and I got to the point where I said I need some help. So my father-in-law came in and worked with me for a while. I taught him anything he needed to know about detailing cars. We were a pretty good team for a long time, and then we just got super busy. And he's like, "Look, I'm trying to enjoy my retirement, and I'm tired of working
I
in the
ain't trying
heat."
to have another more than full-time job.
Yeah, yeah. So I said, "Yeah, you need to go enjoy your retirement." My wife said, "He's not working in the heat anymore. He's done." So we reached out and started hiring local guys here. I brought one on as a helper, kind of trained him up a little bit, and just like every other business is having issues with, I got him trained, and then he went out and said, "Hey, I'm going to go do my own thing." So it's just one of those things you deal with on a regular basis. You train people up, and they move on. So from there, we hired some more individuals, and then it just, now, less than 3 years later, we're in a shop and kind of moving forward. So we got one mobile van running right now. We have our shop running, and then I have a second mobile unit that I'm getting ready to deploy, hopefully the beginning of the year, to try and double our mobile revenue. So that's kind of the backstory, the small backstory on it.
And what percentage mobile to the shop? What's our percentage of revenue between those two things?
Yeah, so this year so far, since we've switched to You're Able, I have some of the You're Able statistics.
Yeah.
So we're looking 625 completed jobs within You're Able. So about
As an official spokesperson for You're Able, Grant highly approves.
Yes. And he's actually the one who turned me on to You're Able. So so it's awesome just seeing the videos and things. So but since we switched over to them, 625 jobs. We shortly after our partnership with You're Able opened up our shop. So we're looking roughly about 150 of those jobs are in-house. The rest of them are mobile. So the kind of the direction that we're looking to take our job or our business is get customers into the shop, get them paint corrected, get them their initial full detail, get the ceramic coating and the protection on, and then the mobile team takes over to run the maintenance side of things. So where I really want this, I really don't want our mobile crews doing any kind of paint correction, ceramic coatings in the field. I want all of that coming to the shop. It's just a better controlled environment for those things.
So that's 75-25, basically mobile to
roughly.
You said it was 125 in shop or 150 in shop?
You're right around 150.
You have yeah, cool. So far. 570 or 475. Sweet. Do you have the numbers for what each produced revenue-wise in shop versus mobily?
I didn't split that up, but right now, I mean, I can tell you just based off of total numbers. Right now, we're looking at 149,351 total, and then minus $9,300 in tips. So our total amount collected was 155,176, and that was since we switched to You're Able.
What was that?
That was around July.
So you're doing 150 grand since July?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Roughly. So your numbers are way, you're way different.
Yeah, I'm a little off. Yeah, but You're Able's blown my business up with the online booking capabilities and everything. So it's been really good.
You've done 150 grand in 6 months. Okay, cool.
Roughly. Yeah.
I mean, that's 25 grand. That's 25 grand a month of revenue right there.
That were in here, Andrew, that kind of boosted it.
Yeah, we had several big jobs. August, we had several large jobs that equated to 22,000 just in August. And then we had another $19,000 last month, and then September and November So I'd say our average was right around 22,000
cool.
since
Nice.
July.
And based off your numbers that you sent us, you have about $11,000, just over 10 grand in expenses a month.
Roughly with payroll.
Cool.
Yep. And that's what makes it hard with hiring people, providing enough business for them to be able to come to work every day, and then paying them the right amount of money to retain them.
What do you guys have to pay in South Carolina?
Well, roughly anywhere between $13 to $15 an hour is what the average is for detailers within South Carolina.
And that's obvious. So, and Barry, just interrupt me at any time, but that's not a number that keeps people from going out on their own. $15 an hour. What would you have to pay? And this is off the, a little bit off path, but what would you have to pay to keep people from doing that? Grant is the master at this because he's built a team that literally just has stayed forever. I mean, I'm sure you still have that problem, but Grant's the master team guy. So I'm just curious in that area because, I mean, dude, they're having to pay $35 an hour just for your basic detailer where I live. So it's a whole different world. But
yeah, I've been contemplating, looking at I look at all the other detailing businesses around too, and I'm friends with several of them, and we kind of share some numbers and share some thoughts and things together, on a regular basis, and we're all kind of on that level where we'd be looking like the $17 to $20 an hour range is where we feel like we need to be. It's just generating that revenue to support it.
I mean, dude, you're not that far into your business right now, so the fact that you're going to have a $270,000 business in year 2 is beyond exceptional. You're just trying. It seems like your vision is 2 years from now, and you're trying to accomplish it now, which is totally fine. We all want the now. Right. We all want the 2 years from now. Right? Every single one of us on here. It's not a bad position to be in, to be that visionary, but it's very difficult because at the end of the day, you want to do so much, but the business hasn't supported it yet. Keyword is yet. But your transition from where you're at now, I mean, doing basically 15 grand to now 22,500 a month with 3 people. I mean, seemed pretty damn good to me.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, you're always wanting more. There's any entrepreneur, any business owner always wants more, and I want the best for the people that work for me. I want the best for my family. And ultimately where I'm looking to be is I'd like to be back to semi close to what I was making when I was working my full-time job.
How much was that?
World, I was roughly around 100.
Roughly, like that's take home, or that's so you're making
take
like
home,
you're making
without
like 130.
bonus.
Okay.
Roughly, yeah, yep. With bonus, yep.
And right now you're producing how much income?
Not a lot. We're looking, I think this year right now, and that was one of the only numbers I didn't write down here. Where I'm roughly sitting between my wife and I, we're right at about 50 to 55 is what
your wife works full time for you too?
Yeah, she's she does all of the behind the scenes.
So 25 grand is what you're bringing home a piece? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Barry, how much did you bring home your first couple of years?
That's what we've.
Is Barry there?
Oh man, your story, Andrew. I feel.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Is he frozen? I'll have to text him. Let me text him. I was wondering why he was so quiet. Let me text him.
Well,
keep going.
Yeah. So the whole take-home side of things. I mean, did you have savings? I assume put aside from your old job.
Yeah, and my wife worked a corporate job too, so we were in a good position. Coming into it. But now we're starting to dip into that a little bit more than we want to.
What is kind of that vision for you and your business?
Well, I would love to see us, averaging, roughly that. My goal ultimately, as of today, is at 30,000 a month.
Revenue.
That's where I want to be.
Okay.
Yep.
And what does that
Revenue.
look like for take home?
And that would probably, in all retrospect, would put us probably closer to that 100,000 a year range for us both. I'd like to pay us both at least 50.
Okay.
Double what we're doing. Yep.
So that's taking 30%.
Can you guys hear me?
30% off the top revenue, off the top line for
Yep.
your particular salary.
Right.
So that 50, what'd you give me?
Can you guys hear
50
me
something.
at all? See me?
Labor
Hello?
cost is only $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
What is,
So right now,
what is it really? Because that's only 36 grand, and if you guys are bringing home 50 right now, we're missing something.
so total payroll expenses right now was 23,344.72 as of today.
23.
That's including your withdrawals.
That's not including our pay. That's just payroll for our employees. So we're taking owner draws from the business.
So it's actually 75.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Just make sure I had that number.
Yeah, it's tough to right now, Andrew. I'm a big numbers guy. It's kind of what Kevin's hinted at about 17 times in the last 4 minutes on this. But I'm a big numbers guy. And it's cool to see since June. What you need right now is one time. Okay, so historical data, like actual data behind your company, is when you can kind of look at your business, because right now your bookkeeping is basically only been for the last 6 months. Prior to that, it was kind of all over the place.
Right.
Completely normal, dude. I didn't keep my books for the first 2.5 years. Meaning, I didn't keep them. I just didn't do it right. It was just side money coming through the door. I was in the same position as you, man. Working a side gig, working a full time, doing this on the side, and then went all in and didn't really think it through. And definitely had the oh shit moment that you're going through about 642 times, not just within the first 6 months, but within the first 4 years. I didn't even take a paycheck for those first 3 years. So the fact that you're able to take a paycheck now for you and your wife is exceptional. How did you get to 270 grand a year currently, or how are these $22,000 months coming in?
As far as like the advertising and marketing and things like that, I'll tell you what, 90% of our business up until about the beginning of this year was all word of mouth. We did no advertising whatsoever other than just social media posts. We didn't. Right now, our advertising expense right now, since we started running some Facebook ads and some Google ads later on in this year. It was right about August. And that's when we started seeing the spike in our monthly numbers. So right now we're looking at like $6,500 in expenses for advertising. So right now it's Google mainly that we're advertising on, which seems to be giving us the best return on investment. Facebook was Facebook. We didn't really see a.
And you're running these yourself, or you have somebody doing it for you?
I'm doing it all in-house. I handle pretty much everything: video, photography, advertising, marketing.
You're spending $1,100 a month on ads?
Roughly, yeah.
And how much is that generating in revenue?
Right now we're looking at about $18,000 total in revenue since we've started running ads.
So that's a 3x. That 3x ROAS is pretty damn good. I mean, that's so you need to spend $11,000 a month.
You guys hear me or see me?
Dude, 3x is awesome. Like that's
seriously,
for every dollar in, $3 out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the nice thing, like, not to make this the You're Able show, but the nice thing about
please.
Detailer's Roadmap brought to you by You're Able.
The nice thing about it is the fact that we're able to keep track of where those leads come from within You're Able. So Google has been the one that we've been hitting is like every month with our people coming in. Like the referrals have all been from Google. So it's been working really, really well for us. I heard about you on Google.
Well, and the
Good.
nice thing about having, I mean,
Good,
that's
good,
where
good.
some of the
So,
website stuff, because
can I
if you're
chime in,
driving it
Grant,
to
real
good
quick?
pages and
There were a
all
couple
that crap,
things that I
that's
heard,
All right,
Andrew,
so here's
super
here's the
important.
reality.
that are concerning.
Drum roll, please.
Give it to me.
Drum
You're
roll.
at 25% margins, and you're spending 30% of each job on ads. So you're actually losing 5% on advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good
So
number,
again,
Grant.
numbers guy here. When you're looking at this, you're actually by every of your $1,100, it's that you're spending, you're only getting estimation wise of the 6,500. You're getting about 5,800 of it back. So you're losing every single month on spending money with ads.
What I'd be curious, do we have a breakdown of, or what's the
You're wasting
AOV,
money, is what he's telling you.
average order
If
value
you can hear that.
on those ads? So like that's one of the problems would be is if you're getting those, but you're driving them to $50 mobile services or $100 mobile services versus $2,500 coding jobs or 1,500, whatever numbers you get.
Am
Are
I
you
going
following me
off
what
this
I'm
call?
asking?
Yeah.
Do we know what those leads turn into? And anecdotal is fine too.
For the most part, those leads are turning into doing not coding jobs like I want them to be. They're more going to be our full details, just get the car clean, get it out, um, you know, and I want it to be the paint corrections and ceramic coatings, but most of the time it's just going to be our full details, our basic wash and renew packages that we have, which gives them a wash with some basic protection to get them through. So not really the items that large ticket
Yeah,
items that I want it to be.
Do you have an average ticket price, Grant?
I
You
did.
may have already calculated that, but do you have your
He's
average?
at
What's the average?
238.96. That's why I was wondering if you could break out in shop versus mobile. To see, because right now the
Yeah.
625 jobs at 149,351, it breaks down to 238, basically $239 a job.
Yeah, and that makes sense too because our very basic package is going to be roughly around 115 to 130, and that's going to and our full details range anywhere from 260 to 290. So that's pretty close, and then our coatings obviously, but they're the higher ticket.
And are the margins pretty static between those two? Like, what do you spend on $115 to get $115?
Yeah, so as far as product, like on our wash and renew on say a large SUV, our product costs are about $32 total for everything, and then our labor ranges between $60 to $80. So we're not doing terrible.
Well, that's $90, right?
Yeah.
Did I calculate? So $90 of 115. It leaves
Well,
you
yeah,
25 bucks a job.
Our full detail, sorry, our full detail.
Oh, okay. So that that leaves you 130 bucks, whatever. Okay,
Yeah,
100 more than that, but okay. I thought you were talking about 115.
Yeah,
like,
no,
oh, well, that's
our basic wash, our product costs there are roughly around $11, and then we have the payroll out of that. So, and that's about an hour-long service. So we're about $30 roughly in labor.
I mean, that's what 60% margin? Is that's like not including like gas and insurance and all all of those, right. Obviously those things, the overhead part of it, but
yeah.
Do you own your van outright, or are you making payments out?
We make payments on both vans.
Oh, you have two vans out.
Yep.
He just bought one, right?
I just bought one. Yeah.
I'd be very curious, Andrew, after this call, I want you to go onto your Able, and when you go into analytics at the top, you're going to see products and services. Click on that tab, and do you have it broken out by ceramic coating, details, maintenance washes?
I have most of it set up. As far as all of our basic services, our full details, our wash and renew packages, it's all in there and calculating for me. The only thing I don't have set up right now so far in your Able has been the ceramic coatings and paint corrections.
Okay. I'd like to see Andrew. So I went through the same thing with another group that I coach with. Mobile's super difficult, although it seems awesome because you're busy at 475 jobs in 6 months. Once you actually do the math behind it, it might be a little bit more shocking to you than what you might seem it is right now. And how a lot of mobile guys, including myself, how we always saw it was opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. The reality is it's just a drag, and the financial gain is very minimal compared to what you're actually getting profitability wise. At the end of the day, Andrew, I don't give a, sorry for my language, guys, bleep this out. I don't give a fuck about revenue. I really don't. All I care about is how much money you taking home at the end of the day. What's your profit? Okay, so for you right now, you have a goal of taking home 100 grand a year between you and your wife. You're not gonna be able to do that doing mobile. I can guarantee you that. And once we break it down, it's actually a complete waste, and you're probably losing money going on these mobile jobs, especially with 2 vans, payments, insurance, time. Biggest thing is risk assessment. So once you look at your risk for these mobile jobs, there's a lot of.
And I mean, the idea, right, is that he's trying to turn mobile jobs into bigger in shop jobs, and that's do we know that number? We didn't ask that number yet. Like, do you have an idea, even if it's anecdotal, how many of your mobile customers wash and wax become coating customers?
No, I don't have that. And that's one of the things that we've been struggling with, and I know that I'm not seeing those mobile customers that call us and book for mobile appointments. I'm not seeing them buying what we're selling them in the field. So, our mobile team does a pretty good job of saying, hey, look, you got some scratches and swirls here in your paint. Our in-house team can take care of that for you, blah, blah, blah. I'm not seeing that coming back to the shop. What I'm seeing right now is, several customers coming into the shop after we finish their vehicle. They're like, man, you guys did a wonderful job. I'm never touching that car wash ever again. And then they're signing up to have our mobile team come out and maintain it from there. So, I've struggled. When I started this business, I told myself, I said, people move to the beach for convenience and leisure and pleasure. So I said, let's run this business mobily, to provide that convenience for people. But now I'm starting to think, as we went through this year, that's what made me get into the shop. I said, look, I need a place to scale this business to the level that I want to scale it to, because the mobile, trying to do paint corrections and ceramic coatings in the sun and the humidity and the heat is just not feasible. And so we decided to take on that 1,000 square foot shop to be able to do that stuff. So I'm seeing what you're saying, Grant. Now that I'm into this business a couple years, the mobile thing is just not enough to scale that business forward. It's really hard.
This is where Mr. Spicy Menard comes in handy here. Is that there is opportunity. There's major opportunity with mobile. It's just you're not asking. Correct? How many of the 400 jobs, how many of those clients did you ask for them to come into the shop for a ceramic coating job?
Not enough.
Right? Would you say 25% or even like less than?
Yeah, maybe 15
total?
to 20.
Yeah. See, so you have major opportunity here. 425 jobs. That's 425 opportunities to ask. The only reason, Andrew, I'm going to put this into perspective for you. So at our shop, the only reason that we still do details, that we offer them at the price that we offer them, is because my sales team are absolute savages with upselling them. So they can take a $200 detail to a $20,000 job fairly easily with just the ask.
Yep.
So somebody comes in for a wash or for a detail, not knowing exactly what their needs are. Totally understandable. They think they just need a wash, when in reality they need full body paint protection film, level 3 ceramic coating, powder coated wheels, painted calipers, full interior coating, maybe leather repair, right? Or they want to redo their whole inside. Right? There's so many different opportunities for every single customer. And you said it here too. You want to add other services in. 100% agree with you. 1,000 square feet, a little bit limited in what you can offer there. Okay.
Tough.
But you can really take, and this is one of the points that we're going to give you at the end is to really go after these customers and ask them and find out what their needs are. Actually go through a systematic sales process with them that you're educating yourself on their needs, and they're also able at the end of that conversation to understand what you offer. It's very easy, and I can go with you that I can go over that with you off this call, so it'll take a little bit. It's very simple and easy to really get to that point. I've done a ton of podcasts on it, one with Kevin too, on actually going through and taking these customers through an experience that they really don't get before. Because right now, you're just the guy that washes their cars. Totally fine.
Yeah.
To get to 100 grand, a little tough.
And that's...
This episode is brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. Hey, spoiler alert, that's us. We all know you need a kick-ass website in order to be successful with your business. The good news is, at Detailer's Roadmap, kick-ass websites, that's kind of what we do. With the latest performance, designs, and SEO strategies, Detailer's Roadmap is your one-stop shop to be successful on the web. And don't forget, we have the best support team in the industry. Whether you're an existing partner looking to improve your lead generation or you need a brand new website, Detailer's Roadmap is here to help you be successful on the web. So go to detailersroadmap.com/success and get started today. That's detailersroadmap.com/SUCCESS.
And where I struggle, and this is one of the pain points of my business, was hiring and retaining the quality employees that are like, how do I get to that level with the sales? Right now I'm just trying to hire people I can even trust to be in my van, and do basic detailing. So how do you push them? Anytime I get on them about adding, our wash and renew package, for instance, does not come with paint decontamination at all. So, I tell them, look, everything you guys sell, you're eligible for, commission on upselling that customer. And then you're getting paid to do the work as well. So I'm offering those things to those guys, but I don't think, how do you put that into perspective for them to be able to upsell those customers? Where it's not for a lack of trying, it's just a matter of not being able to have the employees that understand that, and
Are they
trying to get that
bonus? Are
point.
they bonused on those?
They're so they receive a 5% commission on everything they upsell. So
Okay.
if they sell, or if anything they sell. So if they have a 2-minute conversation with somebody at Walmart and they sell a full detail, they get $14.50 for that at $2.90.
Okay.
And then they get paid to do the work.
And answer your question. Does $14.25 or 90 cents make you happy?
No, but I look at it. I look at it a little bit differently. When I worked in the corporate world, okay, when I first started out, I made $11 an hour, and everything was sales based. So my increase in my pay, I could make $50 an hour, or I could stay at that $11 an hour. It was all about how much I sold and how much I pushed. Could we offer a little bit higher of an incentive on that? I'm sure we can. I just have to figure out where that money comes from.
Okay, good.
So just a side note, I'll let Grant go after you in just a second. But so you were in sales in the corporate world?
I ran operations for the company in the field, but every service specialist in the field was required to sell they say. So what happened was they had contracts with customers to provide a service. That service was only limited. So if they seen something else, they would upsell that customer to that other service. So when I was still working in the field before I got into management, my incentive was pay per performance. So if I wanted to make that $11 an hour and sell absolutely nothing, I'm guaranteed that $11 an hour. But if I upsold, I could be at $20, $30, $40 an hour if I wanted to. It's just a matter of what I sold on top of the initial service. Yeah.
And so all you do in your job right now is sales? This is a loaded question. Yeah, this is a 100% loaded question.
No.
So like you're the most capable guy in your company right now is what it sounds like for sales. And you're in there friggin' doing Google ads and running Facebook ads. And I've done that for about 15 years. I know how to do it and I still don't do it. because it's just not a good use of my time. And so Barry and Grant are gonna.
We're jumping, man.
That was 100%. That was 100% loaded question. Now, like I told you, we're gonna pick on you a little bit on this, but this is the missing. What we're doing is we're trying to align the missing components because it's really easy for us to see from the outside. And it's Grant does the same thing to me. Barry will do the same thing to me if I have him. You know, if we look at my business, they'll do. And Grant has done the same thing to me.
Very nice.
So don't feel bad. But go ahead. Yeah, he's always nice, and like it's stuff you need to hear because this is what's going to help you get to that next level. So. Thanks for joining us again, Barry. Glad that you were able to have fix our technical issues. So let's give Barry a little airtime, and then we'll go in.
So Andrew, I'm going to refresh my mind here because this piece of crap right here was not working. All right, so off and on, back and forth, and I'm trying not to look up anyway. But so here was one thing in the beginning that I heard. You want to get to $300,000 for a year, correct? Did I hear that properly for your revenue?
Pretty close.
Okay. And you want to pay yourself and your wife $100,000 a year together, correct?
Yep.
So first off, when I look at this, okay, your labor percentage is already at 30% for the two of you, which means you're already pretty high. You want to see that about 20 to 25%, first off, for labor percentage. So now how many employees did you say you had besides you and your wife? One or two?
We have 3 right now.
So is that 3 besides you and your wife?
Correct. Yeah, and my wife and I we just do owner draws. So we're not physically on payroll. Yeah.
It's still
we're still paying. Yeah.
Is what I'm getting at here. So you have 3 employees. You're trying to get to 300,000, which you're getting close. Okay? But you have 3 employees you got to pay plus yourself.
Yep.
You're already going to be at 50% labor percentage, which means if you make $300,000 to manually have the labor to function, you're at $150,000. Okay, you put in 30% of your taxes away. Now you're at 20% to operate your business. Okay, which leaves you roughly 20% of $300,000. Do the math. You're going to fold pretty quick. The reality of it is, I hate to say that, but that's the truth to get to where you're at. So you need to do 2 things, one of 2 things, in my opinion. 1, get rid of all your employees right now, except for you and your wife. Or 2, figure out how a way to support what you want to do. You know what I'm getting at with the income. Yep. And I commend you because I heard Grant say this and I heard you say this. My first year in business, I paid myself absolutely zero. The second year in business was like $350 a week, and then I began to really grow from there. And I remember having that conversation that you had with your wife when I came home and said, "Hey, honey, I think I'm going to start a business." And she looked at me. She goes, "Wait, we're 30 years old. We got her 2 kids. My son was just ready to be born. She's making $11 an hour, and I'm making 20 at a dealership. And this is going back a little bit." And I said, "I'm done. I got to work on my own." And she looked at me like I was crazy. Here I am today. You know, I've had errors with back taxes. I've made all the mistakes you were going to make and have made. You know what I'm saying? But the reality of it is the meat and potatoes of your business is for you to solely survive, to operate a business and make things happen. Grant's a great numbers guy. I'm the guy that's going to hit you with the reality. The reality of the fact is your labor percentage is way too high. So you need to figure out, in my opinion, 1, how to get rid of 2 employees right away off the get-go. That'll allow you to put more money into your pocket and motivate you and your wife, and it will also allow you to pay 1 employee properly instead of paying 3 with bits and crumbs. I hate to say that, but if they're leaving, they're not happy. And Grant made the comment by you saying, would you be happy with a $14.50 commission? I would not be. I know you wouldn't be. I know Kevin wouldn't be, and I know he wouldn't be. So the person below you would not be as well. You understand?
Right.
But we really got to commend you because what you built in 2 years with a shop, going mobile, and having a first and second van is absolutely incredible, Andrew. You're on your way to do some really amazing things. which it's nice to see another big guy doing that, by the way. Like you two skinny dudes I'm looking at. You know what I mean, Andrew? We got to hit. But the reality of it is, you have a great foundation, and I commend you for that. You know,
No.
Grant's a numbers guy, so he's going to hurt you a little bit more, and then Kevin will come in and motivate you, and I'm going to inspire you some more. Okay, but please listen to Grant, because I'm telling you, I had a great business just with my detail shop. It was good, but I can honestly admit,
Thanks,
I think
Barry.
Grant surpassed me already, which is a huge compliment to Grant. You know, I'd like to think that anyway. But the reality of it is, you have money being thrown out everywhere except for yourself and your wife. We need to change that. We need to make sure next year at this time, you and your wife are going on vacation somewhere nice.
Yeah.
You're happy and you're motivated to keep coming back to work every day, is what I'm getting. And we also need to eliminate the number of hats you're wearing. Do you understand what I'm talking about that?
Yeah.
So, okay, I wear a lot of hats myself too, but you have a shit ton of hats right now. You're cleaning cars, you're marketing, all this stuff. There's no way physically possible one person can handle that, in my opinion. And what happens is you're going to get tired, bored, frustrated, and throw the towel in if you continue. Truthfully. I see it 10, 15 times a year from detailers who come in and they want to climb this mountain, you know? If this soda bottle or this water bottle, I don't drink soda no more, 6 weeks, by the way. No Mountain Dew, so I'm doing well. But anyway, if you look at this bottle like your business, okay? I'm here and you're here. No matter what, we can both get here together eventually. The difference is I like to do it in small steps. Okay? Right now, you're trying to do it in 2 ladders. Okay? The first ladder you can't reach. You're never ever going to be able to reach it. You're setting your goals too high. So you'll never get here. Meanwhile, you got this ugly mug right here coming in. My ladder's right here, 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 right here. I'm setting small micro goals every quarter. And I'm achieving them goals every corner. I'm going to race you to the top, and I'm going to beat you. And it's lonely up there at the top. Don't forget that. I'm not there yet, but I've heard that. So, with that said, we got to figure out how to get you from here to here to here to here so you're comfortable. Then later, you'll get here. Don't rush things is what I'm telling you. You understand? Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither is any good, successful company. You know? You're starting to put your foundation in. Let that foundation grow and let that tree prosper. But let's get the bottom here first. You know what I'm saying?
I got a quick question. I had a conversation with a guy that's worth roughly, I don't know, $250 million this morning. And one of the things we were talking about, and it wasn't Barry, by the way. He's like 248, so he's almost there. He's almost to the top of that bottle.
275 down from 300. Give you a heads up.
Nice.
To let you know.
But one of the things we talked about is the passion for what you do. So as we continue this discussion, do you enjoy running your company?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love doing it every step that I do.
Everything. Okay, you love doing all of it. Okay.
Yeah, but it's really hard, you know. Yeah. It's really hard to, you know, we just had a baby last week. You know, our third baby, so thank you. So it's really hard to make sure that I'm setting that time aside, because I'll come here. I'm at my shop religiously every morning, same time. I leave at the same time every day. I'm here, I'm present, I'm doing my job. But that's only a quarter of my job, you know. And then I want to make sure that when I'm home with my family, you know. But instead, what I'm having to do now is go home, go through pictures from the day, edit those photos, get them posted, you know, check up on our social media, follow up with leads, you know. So there's just so much going on that I don't feel like I'm present when I'm at home with my kids and with my family.
You're missing out on some critical time with this new baby, is what you're saying.
Right.
And so like that's
Yeah.
That's a better answer for me than I love what I do,
You got purpose.
because
Yeah.
that, like, honestly, that's
Really.
the whole point, right? Like, your whole point of running your own business is that you can take this first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever, to enjoy this baby that just
Right.
got here, and help your wife, right? She just had a
Yeah.
kid, right? So that's where, if we can put some better systems in place and kind of figure this out, that's, to me, and I know Grant said I don't give a F about revenue, and I care about what the business is doing to help you build a life. That's my whole reason that I run businesses, is because I want to be able to build a life for myself and my family, and everything else. Like, if I had to go be a truck driver to do that, I would do that. It wouldn't matter. And so that's where a lot of small business owners get caught up, is that you're basically an employee of your own business. This episode is brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. Hey, spoiler alert, that's us. We all know you need a kick-ass website in order to be successful with your business. The good news is, at Detailer's Roadmap, kick-ass websites, that's kind of what we do. With the latest performance, designs, and SEO strategies, Detailer's Roadmap is your one-stop shop to be successful on the web. And don't forget, we have the best support team in the industry. Whether you're an existing partner looking to improve your lead generation, or you need a brand new website, Detailer's Roadmap is here to help you be successful on the web. So go to detailersroadmap.com/success and get started today. That's detailersroadmap.com/SUCCESS. Which is, I mean, how many times do you guys see that? It's like 95% of detailing, especially, most of us fall into that category. So, Grant, I'll let you go. I'll hand you the talking
we
stick.
all have different points here, Andrew, for you.
For now,
but it all comes down to the defining message here, is that you're doing way too much, where what you are great at is you're only doing partial, like, it's not a full-time job. So if you stepped into the full-time sales position and weren't in a van driving to a job right now, you're able actually to be at a desk, answering calls, managing the client base, talking to them about upselling, a lot more opportunity. I kind of want to step back real quick, if we can. It's about 5 minutes ago when we were talking about your guys with upsells and being on the job sites. At the end of the day, it's just not their job. You haven't made it their job. Their job is to detail that car, get in and get out. And the reality is, they don't have the expertise like us four do to step up to a car and say, there's an opportunity to get this person another $100 on this scratch here, or to get them to come in because the paint's all swirled for a full paint correction, or to get someone to come in and repair their windshield for the small cracks that it has in it. They just don't have that expertise. And at the end of the day, it's truly not their job. Now, you can set requirements for them and make it their job. Let's say you're required, for you to be in this position, we'll pay you $15 an hour, and you're required each week to upsell $500. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're going to make baby steps. We're going to start at $50 a week. Then we're going to go to $100 a week. Then we're going to $250 up to $500 a week. Whatever that number is for you, I'm just tossing them out there. But you make it a requirement for them. This is part of your job title. This is part of what your job is. It's not just to detail the car. It's to spend an extra 5 minutes walking around it to find everything wrong with it so you can upsell the customer. That's option one. The other option, the other side of it, is that you yourself or another salesperson that's specific to sales goes to every single job site. How far are the job sites typically apart?
We stay within about
So an hour
20 to
from side to
25
side?
mile range for the most part.
Okay, cool. So you have a salesperson like
Yeah,
yourself
roughly.
that can
Yeah,
go
yeah.
within an
With
hour
traffic,
and
yeah.
upsell every single customer $100 to $150. And you have a person that's on the road that's at the job site before the technician arrives and says, here's your car. Yeah, here's the service that you signed up for. Let's move forward. Here's what the expectation is of the service, but here's some other things that we found with your car that we can also take care of at that time. Do you want us to add this to your job, to the job list? Because you're going to need a salesperson there, because if it's a technician and now they're going with the full two-step correction, obviously the rest of the jobs that day are going to get messed up. So if you have a salesperson that has an idea of what the schedule looks like for that day, they're not going to oversell a job to where it's going to screw every other customer over. Making sense? So you be that person. You're great at $14.50 to you.
100%.
You can max it out. You got, okay, 5 jobs a day, $14.50 a pop, right? That's about $100 a day, $500 a week. There's 25 grand a year right there. Okay, just like that, just with simple little upsells. So
Yep.
Those are great opportunities there because you're looking for extra cash flow, and you need somebody that's going to be out there that's actually doing it for you. There's nothing wrong with your team manager. There really isn't. You just got the other thing you got to do though is start sharing your vision with them, and you got to dial in your vision too. Because right now we asked what you wanted, like what was your goal for the business.
Yep.
And what you said back to us was, I want to make 100 grand a year. What's inspiring about that to a team?
Yeah.
Right. What about, hey, we're in a 1,000 square foot shop.
Yep.
We started a mobile van. We have 2 of those now. We're in a 1,000 square foot shop. We want to expand up to a 2,500 square foot shop. Put a couple of you guys into management positions. Really go and attack paint protection film and ceramic coating. Start bringing a window tint in house. Really be able to go and travel with you guys and take you on some cool trips like the sea or take you out to Hawaii or wherever Kevin just went, Mexico. Right. Like what's you need to really dial in the inspirational side of what you feel every day because you said it. You said it and we felt it. Oh, I fucking love it. I love this job. And you truly do. We feel that. You gotta get your team to feel that and to get behind you. The reason that I've kept my team. Go ahead.
When I think that I have that vision, and I really do. Like I think right now we're in like having the third baby being born now, and things are starting to move forward and progress in our lives as far as expenses go. We have other kids that are in daycare,
Yeah.
and those expenses just keep getting larger and larger. I think somewhere along the line, I kind of lost that vision for growth. When I first started this business, I said, we're going to have a mobile business. We can take this anywhere. I want to be in 7 cities in 10 years, and be doing this, this, and this. And when we got into our shop, I walked in the building when we signed the lease, and I said,
Yeah.
I don't know if 1,000 square feet is going to be big enough. And I said, so at that moment, I was like, I really wish I would have done 2,000, but now I can't afford 2,000. So I'm like, so I think where that loss of that passion and that drive to move forward is coming down to affording things. How do you know I don't know how much more I can charge as far as everybody's like, oh, increase your prices, you're too cheap. Well, that's fine, but you know, where's that threshold on what people around here can afford to pay for detailing? I already feel like I'm right there on that threshold where if I increase even, 5%, we're going to lose, 15 to 20% of our customers. So it's hard to
Are
balance
you
that.
are you are you hitting mostly? Are you doing snowbirds or these mostly local people?
So this time of year right now, so I was really surprised, to be honest with you, in October when we had such a decent month, because that's when you start seeing that transition between the locals, everything's shutting down for the winter. The tourists aren't coming in. So these people that own restaurants and places, they're all in winter saving mode. So they're not spending any money. But then the snowbirds are starting to transition. Usually around Thanksgiving, they start moving into town. They're coming in, they're pulling their cars out. They're like, oh man, this is dirty. I need it detailed. So I was really surprised. October's historically, even, the little bit of numbers that I have, historically has always been a lot less, significantly
Okay.
less. So I was really surprised that we had such a good month. But, so the snowbirds really, this time of year right now, from now through about March, the snowbird is most of our business.
Okay. I got 2 more questions. First of all, are we selling the crap out of the snowbirds? Should they need to show up at their house with a corrected, coated, and tinted car for that season. So we need to figure out how to make that happen. There's a bunch of airport garages. I'm about 8 miles from the airport, and that was one of the services we offered. We had access to the garages. I'd send my guys over. They'd grab the car, bring them to the shop, do all the work, and when they got off the plane, we'd even fuel the thing up. Like it was fueled, beautiful, ready to go, and then they drove to Big Sky to their $8 million house. So that's a service option for you. Now, here's my other question that I should have asked earlier. How does your wife feel about being an employee, part-time employee, full-time employee of the business versus staying home and raising your children? And I ask this, and I'll be transparent. that I had this conversation with my wife about our own businesses, like, because cash flow's up and down and all that stuff. She's, she talked about, well, I kind of want, should I get a job? Should I not? Whatever. We've been through this in the past. And like, I'm like, do you want to get a job? No, I don't want to get a job. Well, then you're not getting a job. And so like, that's a big question for me, because that's a quality of life kind of thing. If mama ain't happy, kind of literally mama ain't happy. So how's she feel about it?
She feels good. She's a workaholic. She has zero rest. I tell her all the time, you have no rest and you're behind. She was pregnant out mowing the grass, so she's always got to be, got to be doing something.
Okay.
So, when she quit her job to be a stay-at-home mom, I could definitely see that change for her, was difficult. So, inviting her, a little bit more into the business, I've kind of seen her be a little bit happier to where she feels like she's doing something outside of just being a mom. I know she loves being a mom and she loves being there for the kids and stuff, but giving her those little tasks to take care of, answering social media messages and things, I don't want her to get to the point where she's overwhelmed trying to deal with all of that, but I think she's pretty comfortable there.
Okay.
Asking her to do anything else for the business, which is the reason I don't ask her to do social media posting and just answer messages, like keep track of, change a schedule around if I need you to. If I'm busy, I'll text her and say, hey, can you handle this, and change this appointment and do that. I try not to give her too much because I know she's got the hardest job out of all of us. So,
yeah. Which sounds ideal, because if you want to give her things that she enjoys doing, because
Right.
you want to make sure that she's enjoying being a part of the business and being able to draw that. So those are my two questions. I just want to kind of lay that out and get that information for my own sake. So, boys.
So Andrew, all right. So I'm still stuck on this $100,000 thing. I hate to say that, but I'm being real with you here. I really am, because I see a guy that was, you're probably obviously a good detailer, a good technician. Okay. You fit into what I call the 98% of people in the detailing world. We're good at what we do. We go to start a business and we think we're going to nail it right away. And we get a year or two in, and all of a sudden it's like, shit, reality just hit me. I hate to say it that way, but it's true. You realize you're not a business owner. I was one of the 99% of the people. I had to become a business owner, not a technician. And the reality of it that I'm seeing and hearing is, again, you're doing so many things. Like Kevin brought up your wife at home. Can your wife work at home and answer the phone while she's doing the kids? I mean, I'd hate to put more on her plate, but the reality of it is you're not making money. You're moving money. You're literally moving money is what you're doing. You're moving money that comes into your business and taking it out of your business somewhere else. The business it probably can't have too much cash flow in the bank, I would assume. It might have some.
Yeah.
But if everything shut down, COVID hit right now, and they said nobody's going out of their homes, no work, which has happened, how long can you survive for, realistically?
Probably 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months? Good.
And that's based on personal savings, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
from
yeah,
what you said
yeah,
before.
yeah,
That's a personal savings. The business could only go what, a month?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, till we
So
factor in the rent.
2 weeks
Yep.
a month? All right. No worries, man. I've been there. Trust me. I've eaten ramen noodles for about a year of my life. Most people don't know that, but I really did. It's all I could afford, But the reality of it is you've got a lot of money going out and not enough coming in. It's pretty simple here. And in my opinion, I'm going to I love Grant, but I'm going to disagree kind of here with the whole scaling thing a little bit. I would, in my opinion, I'd like to see you do one of two things. Get rid of the
I don't
shop
disagree with
or
that.
the van.
I don't disagree either. I think because I was going to bring the conversation back around to that. So go ahead.
Yeah. The reason I say this right now is, Andrew, in my opinion, you've got to simplify your business a little bit. almost take it back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And this happens all the time. Everybody wants to scale and grow and blah, 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 and 10x shit. But they forget about everything else that's important. I was there. I know it. I did the exact same thing. I mean, literally for 10 years I did it. The problem with it is there's no moderation in your life. We have 24 hours in one day. You've got to divide those 24 hours out properly. And keep in mind, you should get roughly 8 hours of sleep. Not 12 like Kevin gets to maintain that prettiness, but 8. You know what I mean?
Or 6.5. Thank you very
Or
much.
6.5, 5. Yeah. And to give you an idea, Andrew, I sleep 9 hours a day. That's where I'm at. I enjoy 9 hours a day. Okay. So we're in business. I used to think I was in business to be successful. I used to think success was the amount of money that you made and you had in your bank. The reality of it is, I don't care about money no more. Okay, I do well with it. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm not going to hide that. I can't. But at the same time, I took my focus of life to 8 hours a day. 8 for work, 8 for family, 8 for rest. And then in between all that, I got to put some time together for my family, my kids, my devotions. You know what I'm saying? Life is full of a lot of things. In my opinion, it's about work-life balance. And I know you don't have that right now because you told me you're up early, you're working hard all day, you're at the shop, you open the shop, you close the shop. You know what I'm saying? Your wife is at home or whatever, you've got 3 kids. Dude, you're on the way to an unbelievable life. You really are. A great life. But in my opinion, I think you're chasing it too fast, too quick, if that makes sense. I'm going to go back to the foundation. Literally, a tree does not grow unless it's planted, seeded, and watered properly. Then when it does grow, it could die or whatever. You know what I'm getting at? You're 2 years in on this tree growing, so you're like right here, and that tree branch is like super thin. You know what I'm getting at? I want to see it this big, not this big. Once your foundation is set, you're going to be like Grant. Grant had a solid foundation. Now Grant's doing really well. Kevin had a solid foundation. I had a solid foundation. But none of us, just like you, we didn't have a solid foundation from the beginning. You see what I'm saying? It took a little bit to get to that foundation, which you're in now. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'd like to see you back it down a little bit, get rid of an employee or get rid of your vans. You just brought another van on, man. You got another payment. You weren't ready for that payment. I hate to tell you that, but whatever was calculation in your mind, you weren't ready for that payment. You weren't, because you're barely feeding yourself. You see what I'm saying? With 3 kids. We've got to change that, man, because what I've learned about you is a few things. 1, you're funny, you're likable, you're smart, and you're determined.
Mm-hmm.
That goes a long way. And trust me, you don't need to be good looking, because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the best looking guy, but I do okay. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I think your priorities are off a little bit, in my opinion. I think they're off a tad, you know? When was the last time you came into work on a Monday morning and literally said, I had the best weekend ever with my wife and kids?
Not too many times right now.
You see what I'm getting at here? Success to me is not money. It's freedom to enjoy the things I want to do. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm at the point, I said to myself 3 years ago, my goal is to work 4 hours a day. I need more time to do the things I want to do. To me, that's success. I'm at 6 right now. 6. Next year, I will be at 5 by the end of next year. By the end of the following year, I will be at 4. But it's going to take me 3 years to get there. I'm not thinking now. You know what I mean? And when you listen to Grant's ability to crunch numbers and explain it, I'm telling you, I've seen it multiple times now. I'm so glad he don't see my books, because I would be in your position right now. He would be, Barry, where's this going? Why is this going here? Why is this going here? And why is this going here? That's why I don't handle the financials of my company. You see what I'm saying? Yep. I've learned that one thing I'm good at is detailing a car. I stayed in my shop when I had 15 employees, and I'll be simple, I was doing over $1 million a year easily. And that was without coatings, without film, without vinyl, without tint. That was straight up detailing, cleaning cars the hard way. You see what I'm saying? And I used to think, man, I got all this money, but I had no life. If you look at pictures of me before I started my companies and now, Andrew, I gained 100 pounds. To be honest with you, I gained 131 pounds to be exact. I'm just now piecing that together. I spent my life gaining weight, being miserable, chasing money. You talk to me now, go back 3 to 4 years, I'm one of the happiest guys you'll ever meet. I may not have as much money, but I have some. You know what I mean? I live comfortable now. Everybody's eating, everybody's happy, things are moving. Things shut down, I'm good for a year, easily. Living the lifestyle that I live now, easily. And you know what? There's a peace of mind that comes with that. It's a genuine peace of mind that I see in Kevin, a genuine peace of mind that I see in Grant. And if you really want to see that peace of mind, go shake Michael Aben's hands in person.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Yeah, that's a good example.
There's something to be said about finding inner peace, happiness, and a family that loves you and supports you 100%. These are things money can't buy. You see what I'm saying? But we've got to figure out how to get you there and still make money comfortable. And I'm going to be honest, Grant's the guy for that job.
Let's go, Grant. Yeah, I mean, and let me just say one thing, that I think the three of us that are on this call with you, I think all three of us are in that same camp, and we've all been on the other side of that equation, to where we worked our asses off. I tell this story that on my Detailer's Helper business card, it said the do everything guy, chief do everything guy, which is the dumbest title I could ever give myself, because it explained exactly everything that was wrong with the way I was running my companies. So let me just say that. So all of us have been there. I'm, Barry and I are roughly the same age, so we're older, but like that whole ideal is where we want to get to. Grant, let's go, man.
Hey, Grant, real quick. I'm not the same age as Kevin. He's older than I am, just to give you a heads up. And I'm
by like a month.
Don't let him tell you anything, Andrew.
I mean, I was just going based on looks. I got confused.
Thank God Bob Phillips ain't in this conversation.
I just graduated high school, so I feel bad for all three of you.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did, just so you know, we should have good audio in the post side. I know that we're hearing Grant's a little bit of a up and down audio. So, but go for it.
We want to start, Andrew, with congratulating you how well you've done, dude. In 2 years to be able to create this is magnificent. Every single one of us who have been through it can't even imagine a $270,000 a year with 3 people after a little bit over a year, with realistically the first year being such a spastic up and down, all over the place.
Yeah.
So although you probably don't feel proud of yourself yet, you should, because you've done exceptionally well. I'm proud of you. I mean, I couldn't have done that, not having the background or as Barry said, having the foundation. So the fact that you've gotten to where you are is incredible, and doing the side of that, because you've done really well. We don't mean to discount anything that you do or anything that you've done by saying, hey, go and close down the shop or fire people or go let go of your vans. All we're looking to do is to support the next level of growth,
right,
and taking you past that 270 or taking you back to this 270 with a lot more income for yourself to take home for your family and your kids. Because at the end of the day, you're working right now because you got 3 kids at home and a wife. You're so past working for Andrew, it's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if you know what it feels like to work for Andrew anymore, because you really, it's working for your wife and working for your kids, which is so cool. It's so cool. So for you here, before you go in to start closing down shop or sending back one of your vans, you really need to understand your numbers. And I know I'm a numbers guy, but I'm a very simplistic numbers guy. I'm not an accountant by any means. I really don't understand half the stuff that they do. But I can look at something very simple and easy, understand it, and make financial decisions based off of that understanding, which all four of us that are on this call, including Barry, even though he won't show me his books, I'm not going to show him mine either. But it's yeah.
The only reason I don't want to show him my books is because I don't want to embarrass him. You know what I'm saying, Andrew? That's it. Because God forbid he's down by Philly with all the money, and I'm stuck up in
Dude,
the boat.
I'd be ceramic coating every one of those fucking horses. It's not even funny.
There you go.
Don't give me that.
Hey, where are you from?
I'm actually from Pennsylvania, man.
Where at in Pennsylvania?
I'm from a small town called Mannheim, Pennsylvania.
That's funny.
I
graduated from Donegal. I grew up in Marietta. Yeah.
No shit. Yeah, I grew up in Mannheim. What year did you graduate?
07.
Okay. I graduated in '96, so I was a part of like the big football program at Mannheim.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a part of it. I was on the golf team because I used to be small and skinny and knew how to swing a golf club. Somehow this all happened afterward. No one asked me.
He went from golf pro to number 72 of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah. I'm telling you, God looked down on me and hit me with the ugly stick when I got about 23 and said, "Do you know what? We got to give him something," because he didn't give me money. He didn't give me good looks. He gave me weight. You know what I mean? But I'm a pretty happy guy, man. I love life. But yeah, I'm from Mannheim. And Grant's down near Westchester, to give you an idea.
Yeah.
But now I live up in, I'm up in Cornwall now, a little small town right above the Gretna. Yep, Lebanon. That's where we're from.
All right.
All right, Andrew.
Anyway.
Yeah. Stop diverting.
Minor diversion.
Sorry.
I'm still going to hammer you.
Yeah. But the reality of it is I'm still better looking than Grant. We'll just let it go. You haven't gotten me beat, but yeah.
All right. Give it back.
Grant, you still have the talking stick.
You need to figure out your numbers. I'm very curious to see what that 475 number looks like for mobile. And if you can go and take the time to extract it, even the last 100 jobs, and really see what's the income generation or generating from your mobile side of the business. It's very important here. You have 150 jobs coming into the shop, 475 mobility. I want to see how the 150 grand breaks down. So over the next 3 months, over the next quarter, let's look at your numbers and really dial in. You're able to isolate what in-shop versus mobile looks like for you. And it's very easy. You can categorize them as in-shop and then just put all that stuff there, and then put all your products and services under, and do a mobile and put all your products and services under, which you probably already have. Or you could probably break this out fairly easily. The other side thing is you mentioned something that I can break down fairly quickly is charging. What you should charging extra 5%. The reality is, Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, you kind of just threw the numbers out there on what you're charging for your details of ceramic coats, correct? So we need to see what your margins are on this. What exactly is it costing you per job to break even? And then we'll incorporate an extra 30 or 40% on top of that, even 50% on top of that for profitability. But without knowing your numbers, even if you raise it by 5%, what is that 5%? What does that really look like? And you're probably going to find that you're losing money on a lot of the products and services, or breaking even on a lot of the products and services that you're currently offering. And when you do charge more and people turn away, the fact of the matter is that's totally fine, because you're technically giving them a service for free, or you're technically paying for them to have a service done, even if it's $2. Okay, so we really, for you, it's figuring out what does that profitability look like per service. Again.
And doing a deep dive on all your overhead, your gas prices, insurance, car payment, all that as far as mobile goes, because there's some hidden costs in there. Because when we broke it down earlier, you gave me labor and soap, basically,
right?
And there's a hell of a lot more money in that on that side of the column. So we need to break all that down, and you can divide it up between shop. If everything's in one pot, you'll be able to divide it up between shop by percentage almost, at least to get a general idea. So
right. And that's one thing I've struggled with a long time. The whole time throughout our business has been struggling with, figuring out those fixed costs on everything. I I don't have it in this van, but in my other van, I have a notebook where I have a spreadsheet in there where the guys, measure their product before the detail, and then they measure it afterwards. And then we were figuring it out, and I was getting really good at it. And we had that solid number. And then somewhere we kind of lost track of that. And I think it's because we were going through that busy time of the year, and we're just like, screw this spreadsheet, we're not doing it anymore, we're done with it. So those are things that I struggle with that I need to get in order 100%. Because I think you guys are dead on. I mean, and I talk to my wife about this all the time. I say, look, I think we're losing money on this, and I don't know where we're losing it at.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Where are you at with your business plan that you started 3 years ago before you came into this industry?
I don't think
I'm going to say
it's in a little notebook in the glove compartment of that new van. It's somewhere.
Yeah, it's kind of gone. The original vision that I had is kind of gone because things just kind of took over.
Hold on. Don't confuse the word vision with business plan. It's two different. I have plenty of visions. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
But a business plan is a business plan. It's a 3 to 5 year plan that should take you about a week if you do it right. And the reason I asked this is because I knew you didn't have one. That's why I loaded the question the way I was actually pretty slick like Kevin, the way he loads questions. But so what I'm going to do, Andrew, is I believe, we have Andrew's email, right? In that chain?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Andrew, I have a basic business plan set up that I designed about 4 years ago for detailers. It's on my Facebook page, but I'll email you. It's just a fundamental of what you need. It's nothing crazy. It was designed to be simple and easy. But I want to email that over to you. Just look at it for now, okay? I want you to read it, look at it, and put some thoughts in your mind. Okay? That's going to be the one thing for me. Because I see a lot of potential in what you're doing. I think right now, you're the 20-year-old car that needs reconditioned. And you brought it to the detail shop. Make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
I realistically, I think you're driving like a Ferrari right now that is not presented as a Ferrari, if that makes sense. You're good. The internal guts are solid and strong, but we need to fine tune and polish that a little bit, So with Grant's numbers, I want to send you that over. Whatever Kevin does. We usually just bring him along to look pretty. He makes us all look better. You know what I'm saying? That's why I hang out with Grant. Grant's uglier than me, so he makes me look good looking.
There you go.
But in reality, I want to send this over to you because there's a couple little things in there that you may have missed or may not have. But when you read it, the ultimate goal is to get this back here in the back of your mind and make you thinking. You get that head turning, you get the wheels spinning a little bit. Eventually, you're gonna kick on a plan that'll work, and hopefully, us three can help you as well.
I'm going to send you the guy I talked to this morning does these assessments. So it's basically a strengths assessment, which probably most of us have done. I want to send that to you. Have you and your wife do it. If your wife is breastfeeding at 2 a.m, I'm sure she'll be more than happy to fill out a piece of paper or get on the computer. Right. So I think that would be interesting to see that in terms of your strengths. Grant,
my palms are sweating.
You need to finish your thought because we didn't get there.
Like literally, I have a microfiber here.
Palms are sweaty. You got mom's spaghetti.
You're in trouble, Andrew. I'm telling you. I've seen this a few times now. Warn yourself, okay?
Your situation.
Be careful here. I'm telling you. Go
So
ahead.
to get back to your product cost, how you can figure this out. I'm gonna make it super simple, stupid easy for you. Do you run gallons, 5 gallons, 55? Do you run drums? What do you run out of? 16 ounce.
Yeah, we run the nano pails,
Okay,
the
cool.
3D nano pails.
So at the end of the day,
evolution
you
system.
really need to calculate that cost. It's kind of pennies at that point, but you can. And here's how you do this: you take a 16-ounce bottle, you write your date on it. So it's 11/16 today, and then when the bottle's gone, you figure out the date. So say it's 12/16, and you look at how many cars over the last month did it take to finish that whole 16-ounce bottle. You multiply that times 8, so that gets you a gallon. And that's how many cars So say the cost of the gallon was $100, and you did 100 cars in that time frame, times 8 is 800 cars. It costs you $100 divided by 800, so it's 15 cents, whatever that comes to, or 12 and a half cents per vehicle for that product specifically. Does that make sense? So you take the smallest amount that you can you're going to run through for each product.
Yeah.
You already know how many cars, because you can do this through your able, right? You look at that timestamp from 11:16 to 12:16, cut breaks out, you did 100 cars. You multiply that 16-ounce bottle all the way up to whatever it is, if you use the jugs, however you get there, and then you divide it out. That's how you figure out your product cost. And I can take this over. I know that was kind of all over the place. It's a lot easier to do that. Yeah. For your actual, for what you should actually charge here, I'm going to combat you with saying that 5% is not going to change anybody's decision ever. 50% isn't going to change anybody's decision ever. 100% isn't going to change anybody's decision ever. All it's going to do is bring you more qualified people. I remember the day that I was charging $800 for a coating. A guy came in for his truck. I learned this from somebody. It was a red F-250. I'll never forget it. Brand new. And I said, well, how much do you think it'll cost? That's what I asked him. He said, I don't know, like $3,500. We were charging $800. Okay. From that moment on, I changed my price, and that next night I doubled everything. And our packages are $2,500 to $3,500 just for a ceramic kit. And the only reason the guy with the red truck. That's the only reason behind it. Okay. And hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
Did he pay $3,500 that day? Oh, okay. Yeah. I want to make sure we get that there.
Yes,
well,
sure
surprisingly, that's exactly what we charge for this service, sir.
Hey, do you know what, Grant? You brought up a really huge thing. I always priced myself when I didn't know what I was doing on what I thought the customer could afford. I made the assumption of what they could afford. And the other mistake that I used to make was thinking that I was a detail business owner. I know that sounds crazy, but the reality of it is we're in customer service. Detailing is a byproduct of what we do. You know what I mean, Andrew? Think about that for a moment. If you go to a mechanic and you take your car to a mechanic and he's the nicest guy in the world and he gets the job done, you're going to pay him an extra $20 just because he was cool. But if that guy was a jerk, the whole time you're sitting in there, you're thinking, why am I paying this much? You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
You've got the personality, dude. You're likable. You know what I mean? Use that to your advantage. And like Grant said, 10%.
I didn't say 5.
Grant says 5. I say bump your prices up 10%.
No.
Because if you
didn't say 5.
Oh,
Andrew said he was worried about 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grant said 100%, double your prices.
Yeah. So, and if you think about this, you and your wife right now, you want to each make $50,000 a year, is what you said.
Yeah.
You're making, would you say 270,000? I'm just going to round it up to 300 to make it even.
Yeah.
You round up that 10%. That's what's 10% of 110. That's $30,000 extra.
Yeah.
A year, right there, just by rounding your prices up 10%. That's it. Now, Grant, I'm sure, is going to say that's too low, and I agree with him. But I was just using that as an analogy, And I was talking to a guy that had 4 shops, doing a little over $1.5 million a year out of 4 shops, and he hit me hard. He's like, Barry, I made $0. The first $1 million I made, I made $20,000 off $1 million. Now when I look at life, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I could charge $1,500 for a coating, knock that car out in a day, and do one more later in the week sometime when I'm bored. I make $150,000 a year doing 2 cars a week. For me, I could work Saturday and Sunday, knock that out, and have off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Numbers are simple. You see what I'm saying, though? Like where I live, it's easy. I don't live where Grant lives. You know what I mean? But it's the reality of it is your numbers are way off, man. Way off. You're not making money, and your numbers are people.
You're not making what you want to make. Right now, you're taking almost 20% right now. So you are making money.
Yeah, correct.
It's just we got to elevate that. So
Yeah,
and to get
yeah,
back to it with the cost side of things, you don't just have to go and just change all your prices overnight and market those out to everybody. So a little thing you can do is take some market data where you take a small percent of people, call it your next 10 clients. So these next 10 clients, and you're going to mark it down. Do they say yes or do they say no? You're going to take your details from $200 to $250, we're going to say. And of those 10 people, how many people said no and how many people said yes? Then you're going to do it to $300. How many people said no? How many people said yes? Just to 10 people. Then you're going to take it to $500. How many people said no and how many people said yes? Then what you're going to do is you're going to add them all up. See what the revenue generator, how much revenue is coming from those clients versus how much you were making off $200. If you did 10 out of 10 at $200, that's $2,000. If you get 7 out of 10 at $300, it's $2,100. And if you get 3 out of 10 for $500, it's $1,500. So you can do 3 less cars, doing the same end result for $100 more. It'll create you. So 3 less cars creates you an extra $100 per 10. Okay, see how that works? So you take little subcategories of 10 at a time and just work them out and mark them down. Did they say yes? Did they say no? What was the revenue generation of this? And then that's a great way of checking out where you personally, Andrew, because by the way, you're a referral-based company. I know you might not think that because you market. You're 100% a referral-based company. Stick to that because you'll never need to sell again, and nobody is going to ever go and try to price shop you to somebody else because they referred to you. When they referred to you, no matter what you say, the customer's already done the sale for you. All you got to do is the job and provide them with the price, and they're not going to say no.
And side
That's what
note,
I
a $500 customer is more likely to then spend $1,500 on the correction and coding versus a $200 customer. So there's an ancillary. Sorry, go ahead. You had something to say.
and that's something that I need to get back to because that's how my original, like I said in the beginning, my whole first year to 2 years, like of not being in business, but not 150%, like I am now, like was all referrals. I didn't do any advertising whatsoever. And so I got to get back to what was I doing then and what am I not doing now that's leading to that not getting those referrals like I used to. So
Well, I know exactly why you're not getting
something I need to
referrals.
really sit back and look at.
All right, so we got action items. So Grant, Barry's got action items. Grant, fill us in on whatever the last few points because I know we want to get a heart out here, and then give. You always have action items, so we'll do that because we're going to come back right in 30 to 60 days. So we'll see where we got.
Every single person that we have. I've talked about this 100 times over. Kevin's gone through it. I believe Barry's gone through it now. I go through it all the time too, still to this day. But what you're going to do is you're going to write down everything that Andrew does, every task that you do, from loading your bottles to ordering to putting payroll through all the way down to doing the car. Every item. And you're going to build 3 columns. The first column is going to be I love doing this. This is all I want to do. The second column is I don't mind doing this. I don't want to do it forever, but I don't mind doing it at least for the time being until I can find somebody to do it for me. And the third column is the fuck you column. That's it. I hate doing this crap. I don't ever want to do this again. This sucks. You're going to take every item that you do, all the hats that you wear, and you're going to put them all on a piece of paper, and then you're going to fill out those columns. And column number 3, by the time we get back, column number 3, you're going to build a job profile specifically around that column. That's somebody else that loves to do all that stuff. You're going to hire them to do. Because what you're going to realize is that third column, although it's only 30%, equates to probably 60% of your energy. That's negative energy that you're putting towards it. So if you can knock that out the door, you just opened up more than half of your time to put towards something that you truly love, like sales, which is what this company needs. Right now, you need sales. And you need sales for those higher dollar items. You need to go out to those jobs, like I kind of recommended, potentially, and be that salesperson that's introducing to yourself. Hey, my name's Andrew Houston. I'm the owner of this company. Just wanted to come and check out this car for you. Let's go walk around it together. Tell me what bothers you about this car. Why did you call us in the first place? Let's see what bothers you about this car. Is there anything that you didn't mention on our first call or when you scheduled this job that you'd like to showcase me now, or that you'd like to show me now that we could potentially take care of today, or send a tech out at a later date to take care of for you? Simple as that, right? and then you can educate them. You also know we offer ceramic coating and paint protection film, which you said you wanted more items in the door. Once you get to a point where you're no longer being the technician, is when you can start bringing other opportunities into the shop. So don't start bringing paint protection film and window tint into the shop. It's just gonna get clouded in there, and you only have 1,000 square feet, so you got to work with it appropriately. But once you're out of the technician stage and into the managerial stage, there's a book called E-Myth. He breaks it down really great on the 3 steps of a business. Once you break into that managerial entrepreneurial step, that's when you'll really be able to see true success and be able to break into other opportunities. But don't start doing that now. Your numbers, we really need to get your numbers down. Figure out what it is, dude. It's super simple, stupid easy. Andrew, you and I can knock it out in like 30 minutes, dude. Like legitimately 30 minutes. We could really figure out where you're at on these numbers wise. And I'm happy to do that for you on a call before, after this. We really got to figure out your numbers and your team for keeping them. You got to share the vision. You really got to understand, much like Barry said, and a business plan that Barry's going to send you over and that you're going to fill out. One of the first parts of a business plan is what's the vision? And it's your job then to provide that visionary energy to your shop and to your team forever, and to never let that go, to the point where they feel like it's their vision. You're going to get to a point, Andrew, I know you said, well, I don't know what the end is. You're going to, I just want to keep going and going and going and building and building and building. I think the same thing too. I am more than thrilled about where my business is, and I do not want any more. It is so awesome where it is right now, and so manageable and so great that could I go and blow this up in 3-4x it? 100%. But my energy doesn't lie there. My energy lies with where it's at right now, which is awesome. Got a great team, great customers. I'm very proud of what they're able to do every single day. I want to keep that. So that you will get to a point where you're very satisfied and happy with yourself. It's just going to take some time. And that's my kind of last action item. Is just take a breath and realize what you've completed. Go back. Don't be looking at the right now. Look back at where you were in November of 2022 versus where you are now. Not only do you have an extra kid that was just born a week ago, and you're out there grinding right now with a 1-week-old at home, but you've also been able to create an absolute phenomenal business. And you got to give yourself a ton of credit for that. So vision is always there, but also realize where you came from, where you started to where you are now, and that will give you a lot of steps on where you need to go to make it to that next goal of yours. Cool.
100%. Yeah, and I will put a caveat into all this homework. You're not allowed to trade baby time for homework time. This needs to come out of you figure it out. You need to do this at work, not in lieu of spending time with this with your family. And that could be the other kids that still need attention and all that. Cause we don't want to be the guys that are like, hey, go spend 6 hours tonight working on a business plan. Right. So 100%. So, hey, we're going to come back probably 60 days. We don't have a full schedule with this, but we're going to all send you some stuff. Grant will send you information on connecting with him because he's more than happy. And Barry, go ahead.
I just want to say one thing before you close it out. Andrew, awesome to meet you. You should be very proud of yourself. I mean that with passion. You started out better than I did. With that said, though, the business plan,
dude, 60
Grant
days.
gave you too much homework. So I'm going to back off a little bit. I'm just going to send it to you. I'm going to send it to you. And just what I want you to do, don't put any action to it unless you want to. With that said, just look at it, read it, and get it back here a little bit so you're constantly thinking about it. We'll come back to it later. The second thing is, this is a business card. I'm going to hide their name or whatever, but the front's just the normal information. My concept here is the back is blank. They wasted this. Okay? Your business is a solid word of mouth referral business. Okay, from what we've learned today. Your business card on the back of it should say, the highest compliment you can give me is to refer me to your friends and family. Thank you. That's it. So when that business card gets passed, you've got that. And I'm going to say this for Grant just because I think I gave him something he needs here and he's excited. It should say the highest compliment, Grant, you ready? The highest compliment you can give us, or me, whatever, is to refer me to your friends and family. And then put in there, thank you for your business. That's it. Keep it simple.
This is going to be a YouTube short, by the way. We're going to push the hell out of that little 60-second nugget. Nice job, Barry. I love that.
No worries.
I like it.
Do it out. But listen, other than that, man, relax, do your thing, enjoy life. And I'm going to tell you the one thing that I'm firm on. Don't forget your friends and family. I did. Don't be that guy. My kid's 16 years old, and I'll be honest with you, I love him to death. We've done amazing things in this world. But if there's one thing I could take back in my life, it's the fact that I didn't work too hard, and I forgot about my family.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. I heard it my whole entire life. Oh, these kids grow up too quick and blah, 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 blah. Kevin could probably tell you the same thing. You know, I'm sure there were times that Kevin regrets working and not being with his family at one point.
100%.
You know? And I'm telling you, dude, that to me is priceless. Priceless right here. You know, 45, man. The average male lives to 70 some. I don't got much time left.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while we're here.
I got like 60 years left. I'll be fine.
Well, yeah, but you're a different breed, you know? This is the guy that'll go detail a car for a whole entire day, then go into his house and be like, you know what, I'm bored. I'm going to build a barn in my backyard with a garage.
Yeah, go work out, call Grant, tell him how beautiful he is. You know, just your average day.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, your average day. I have help with my badass wife, but
Listen,
hey, that's a good place that's a good place to land this ship. To use a phrase from Mike Rowe, land this plane. So, hey, we're going to come back in like 60 days. We're all going to send you some stuff super helpful. I know we did most of the talking, so but we're going to make you do a lot more talking when we come back for the next one. Hopefully this was helpful to you, helpful to people that are listening to this.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we'll just push it forward. Look at 2024 is going to just kick ass. That's what we're looking at.
Thanks, guys.
All right, gentlemen, talk to you soon. Head over to detailersroadmap.com and get your one-stop success solution today.